Hey, what's up guys, MKBHD here. It's that time of year again. Apple just dropped their new iPhone and you know what that means, new tech to unpack. Today we're diving into the major improvements between the iPhone 15 and the iPhone 16. We'll take a look at all the new features and changes to help you decide if it's worth upgrading to the latest and greatest. Let's jump in. First up, let's talk about the iPhone 16's camera because Apple is really pushing the boundaries here. They've added a new 50-megapixel main sensor, which is a significant jump from the iPhone 15's 12-megapixel sensor. This means you're going to get way more detail in your photos, especially when you're zoomed in. They've also improved the image processing with something called the A17 Bionic chip. This new chip is specifically designed to handle the demands of computational photography. Think of it as the brain behind all the cool camera tricks the iPhone can do. It's going to allow for even better low-light performance, faster autofocus, and more realistic depth of field effects in your photos. And speaking of depth of field, portrait mode has gotten an upgrade too. They've improved the edge detection so the blur looks more natural, and you can even adjust the intensity of the blur after you've taken the shot. So, if you're into mobile photography, the iPhone 16's camera is definitely something to be excited about. Now let's talk performance because the iPhone 16 is an absolute beast. It's powered by Apple's brand new A17 Bionic chip, which they claim is the fastest chip ever in a smartphone. That's a bold claim, but based on early benchmarks, it looks like they might be right. This new chip is not only faster, but it's also more power efficient, which means you should see some improvements in battery life. And speaking of battery life, we'll get into that more in just a bit. But overall, the A17 Bionic chip is a significant upgrade, and it's going to make everything you do on the iPhone 16 feel faster and smoother. Whether you're scrolling through social media, editing videos, or playing graphically intensive games, this phone can handle it all without breaking a sweat. So, if you're coming from an older iPhone, the performance boost alone might be worth the upgrade. Alright, let's talk battery life. Apple has made some pretty impressive claims about the iPhone 16's battery life, stating that it gets up to 2 hours more than the iPhone 15. Now we all know that actual battery life can vary depending on your usage, but even if it gets close to that, it's a big deal. They've achieved this through a combination of factors. First, the new A17 Bionic chip, as we mentioned earlier, is more power efficient. Second, they've made some optimizations to the software to reduce power consumption. And third, they've actually increased the physical size of the battery slightly. So, if you're someone who's constantly on their phone, whether you're browsing the web, watching videos, or playing games, you're going to appreciate the extra juice. It means you can go longer without having to worry about your phone dying on you. Now let's move on to the design. At first glance, the iPhone 16 might look pretty similar to the iPhone 15, but there are a few subtle changes. For starters, they've introduced a new color option, a really sleek matte black that looks super stealthy. They've also made some refinements to the materials. The iPhone 16 now uses a new aerospace-grade aluminum that's supposed to be even more durable and scratch-resistant. And the glass on the back is now even tougher, thanks to something called ceramic shield, which they introduced a couple of iPhone generations ago. So, while it might not be a radical redesign, Apple has made some subtle but significant improvements to the design and materials, making the iPhone 16 feel even more premium and well-built. Finally, let's talk about the software. The iPhone 16 ships with the latest version of iOS, which brings a whole bunch of new features and improvements. One of the coolest new features is something called Live Text. This lets you interact with text in your photos in ways you never could before. For example, you can copy and paste text from a photo directly into a document, or you can even use live text to translate languages in real time. It's pretty mind-blowing. They've also made some improvements to Siri, making it more responsive and intelligent. And they've added some new privacy features, giving you even more control over your data. So even if you're not blown away by the hardware upgrades, the software alone might be enough to tempt you to upgrade to the iPhone 16. iOS 17 is a significant update with a lot to offer. So, there you have it, the major improvements from the iPhone 15 to the iPhone 16. From the impressive camera upgrades and the blazing fast A17 chip to the improved battery life and sleek design, Apple has once again delivered a top-notch smartphone. But the real question is it worth the upgrade from the iPhone 15? If you're someone who always wants the latest and greatest tech, then the answer is probably yes. The iPhone 16 is a significant step up in almost every way, but if you're on the fence, it really depends on your needs and budget. Let me know in the comments which feature you're most excited about, and don't forget to subscribe for more tech videos. Thanks for watching.